I don't have to get up there, do I? Right. Wow. Great to listen to. There's people out here I didn't get to hear tonight, so I'm just going to have to come back again next year to hear the rest of them. The ones I did hear, I really appreciate it, and it's been a beautiful hour. I'll give you some stuff of my own, but first I want to thank Scott and David and all the people behind the scenes that have made this thing happen. So let's have a round of applause for them. So this is beautiful downtown Bolton. Yeah, all right. I like Bolton. Let's see if I like it in another hour. My name is George Wallace. I'm from New York, and I have about 8 or 10 poems to write to you. Maybe those supplies along the way. But, we had a great workout in the library today, and I see it must be 6 or 7 people out of the 12 or so that we have in the workshop. And some great work came out of it. I want to give a shout out to you for reading the poem that came out from today's work. Right. Well, you know, there's going to be some American vernacular here, so I don't think I really have to explain it. But if you hear words you don't understand, I'll explain it afterwards. But this first poem has to do with garbage men, which I don't know what you call them, tip people or something. Refuse engineers or something. The New York City poem. I want to go where the garbage men go. I want to ride where the garbage men ride. It's Friday night. It's 8 p.m. I want to go where the garbage men go. When they gear up, when they get in motion. The garbage men cruising the city like a shooting star, like a desert consuming itself. They ache for garbage from their biceps to their toes, like Columbus ached for America, like kids ache for the good humor man, like a robber emptying a cash register at a 7-Eleven aches for cash. In t-shirts and stained jeans, with their jaws stuck out, like Ethel and Fred Mertz, with their heads like steel plates and their va-va-va-voom. The garbage men do not mind, they do not care. What's the difference? It's all work to them. They love to work with their leather gloves on their leather hands, and they're high above the crowd and the stench of it all. And it's good damn money. Besides, it's good damn money. Who's going to tell them different? They're tall, they're muscular. Who's going to tell them? They have great teeth, they have hair like Greek gods, and their language is perfect. Their muscles shiver like primitive seas, their bones shake like javelins, and the blood of centuries dries on their hands. They're as big as beer barrels, and they love to talk like pirates of the Aegean, and wrestle with each other like animals on the ground. They're jackhammers in the Marinette. They are tugboats on the Sound, from Brooklyn to the Bronx, from trash can to sea to shining sea. I want to roll along on the rain-spattered road. I'm perfectly serious about this. I want to go with the garbage men. They're calm, they're professional, their loud as fists striking solid steel. They're polite to the mayor, and if they whistle at the pretty mamacitas, it's only for show. It doesn't really mean anything. They brush flies away from their faces. Nothing bothers them. Nothing at all. Not traffic lights, not fender benders, not bosses, not banana skins, not razor blades, not $20 bills, not a box of taco shells, not the daily news. And when the wind picks up, they shout back at the wind, and the wind gets the hell out of their way. And when they wave to the driver, the truck takes off, and the traffic parts like mountains part for Colorado mountain men, and they ride away. And where do they go? All that garbage. They go to the landfill, they go to the loading docks, they go to trailer parks, they go to Windy Gap, they go to the incinerator, they go to Staten Island, they go to the ocean floor, and they go home to their wives and mothers and their sons and daughters and their neat little houses and their neat little suburbs, and they climb out of their trucks, and they pull off their clothes, and they climb into their beds, and they pull their wives to them and make love to their wives properly, and then they go to sleep, and if they dream at all, it's no big thing. No big thing. After a while, they stop dreaming, and they're dead to the world, and their sleep is dark and perfect, as night is dark and perfect. And they are the lords of everything they survey. Thank you. do take a shower before they climb into the bed. Yeah, who was wondering? Raise your hand. Who was wondering? Yeah, raise your hand. This is sort of a blues poem. The blues has 365 hands. Doesn't go away. It's a fake, it's a phony, it's a fraud, it's an insane high-tide lover full of spume and brine and broken shells. It plays all over you. And out it goes after spitting up on you, on me, on everybody. It's a mugger in the darkness which separates every human being from every other human being. I'm talking man on man, woman on man, man on woman on woman on man. And oh, the pain, and oh, the glory, and oh, how the blues goes fast and it goes slow. What the hell are you looking at, blues? It's a pool hall hustle. It'll steal your cue stick. It's bald as an 8-ball, it's hairy as a lamb, all chalked up and nowhere to go, rolling on the great green pitted hair pit of doom. Torn, baby, torn on every level. Bank that 6-ball, sink that train. Oh, the blues has got the old eagle eye that knows how to use it. Hat trick for Annie, cheek date for Jake, and the combination should keep on coming. Right across, uppercut, enough English on your balls to knock your ass flat. But enough of that, man. The blues, the blues, the blues. 365 hands feeling you up. And one hand left over for Halloween. Joystick, ballroom, jelly bean, bride, a jam, a joke. You can hold it in your fist, you can shake it, you can put it to your ear and listen to it growl. It's a slide trombone, it's a temporary tattoo, a crystal ball, a song you never even asked to hear. Because whatever the blues wants, the blues gets. You can feel it, you can taste it, you could put it to your tongue before it goes away. I mean, it's the new sensation, it's the latest craze, it's wrapped in the arms of its own magic. And oh, how you play into its game for 1 minute of your life. One more sucker, one more ride, and then game over. Off it goes. Because the blues is never satisfied. It's got to find itself another line. It's got to find itself another schoolyard like you to play in. The ordinary guys, the windshield Johnnies, the assembly line Jays, the commuters on the commuter trains, the deadbeat warriors, the snow shovel Joes, the guy with his fist in the bottom of a sink, the gal stuck fingernail deep in the neck of a chicken, the stay-at-home moms, the pick-me-ups, the second fiddles, the also-rans, the pocket menders, the button jars, the ones with a paintbrush in hand and spackle in both their eyes, the ones who've never seen the inside of a racetrack or spilled a cup of beer at their best friend's wedding, the ones who never quit when the broom handle snaps, when the ice melt doesn't melt, when the woman or man who they married for love turns out to be a little different from what they thought they signed up for. This goes out to the gal who doesn't complain, the guy who doesn't drop out, the crazy asshole who won't run away, the one whose lives are not exactly quiet, not exactly desperate, not exactly reckless or hedonistic or obscene, and their stories don't get told in romance novels or afternoon sitcoms or in the daily newspaper and the Sunday comics. They drink till midnight and they get up anyway, and they make their payments. Get on to the next thing. They drag the garbage to the curb on time. They drag the kids to the school on time. And they shut their mouths when the kids go away. This poem goes out to the ones whose idea of a good time is to be left alone. The ones who play games like make ends meet or how do we keep this thing afloat. The wrench-mouthed lady, the shift change dude, the hubcap mender, the guy with the plunger standing over the John whose 9 to 5 begins at 5 and ends at 9. The punch clock Juanita, the t-shirt Raoul whose lives keep spinning, whose bathtubs do not drain, whose opinions do not matter, whose towns do not count, whose figures do not figure in any man or woman's fantasies, whose dreams do not die, they just fade away. Ones that don't quite get there, and it doesn't quite kill them, or make them to decide to burn this motherfucker down. Even though sometimes it's pretty clear to everyone here that this motherfucker deserves to be doused with a tank of gasoline and sent out on a blind date with a blowtorch. I guess I'm allowed to say motherfucker, that's okay. But I did, I said shit. I saw, what's that paper that we get, The Guardian or something? They said, there's shit. I said shit right on the paper. And you're allowed to say that about it. There was an article about, I don't know, somebody's complaining about the opposition leader. He said shit. So, help us put an end to this shit. This is my shit. Help us put an end to this shit. It's a political problem. Yeah, because a year or so ago, people were protesting all over the place and outside of city halls and everything. You know, Zuccotti Park in New York City. It's 3:45. I'm hanging around City Hall Park in the pounding sun, which makes me feel dizzy. It makes me feel lucid and calm. It makes me feel weak, and I'm thinking about the square root of this life I've been leading. Just another warm day on the concrete and crazy New York City in October with nothing to do but smile when this dude walks up to me. He's wearing these rabbit ears on his head. He's been listening to, I don't know, world music or messages from Mars, or maybe it's news from Zuccotti Park, and he's got a face just like a shiny new quarter, or the guy on the $10 bill who the history books tell us feared tyranny from below, just like any ordinary man would do under the circumstances. I mean, any ordinary man looking out for his own hide and the hides of his people. So this guy takes off his rabbit ears and he looks me up and down and he warns me to watch out. But I mean, hey, it's New York City. Let's keep turning. Who are you going to listen to? Whose fault is it? Where do you pin the blame on? He said, I don't know exactly, but I know you. And he looks me straight in the eye. I know where you've been. You were there when the little mammals, when the dinosaurs went away. You were there at Peterloo and Kent State. You were there the day Jim Crow turned over in his bilious hole and died. You were the last man and the last chopper on the last rooftop of old Saigon. It is not too late. You know how it can go. There is always work to be done. Well, maybe I do. Maybe there is. But I've got this part-time job teaching at a university, no hope, and bills to pay. So excuse the hell out of me, but leave me alone. That should be the end of it. But so help me God, this is no lie. The next thing you know, we're surrounded by a pack of mutts and schnauzers, meaning the mayor's own hand-picked goon squad. Judges, cops, prosecutors, Fox News commentators, all rolled up into one. Sorry-ass sons of bitches wearing self-appointed sunglasses and listening to our conversation. Boys, you're coming with us, they say. We got the goods on you and something to talk to you about. Well, I could see what was coming next. So off I bumped. I shoved. I dodged. I ran, shouting, kiss my royal ass, you bastards, and if you don't mind my saying so, your retirement plans are null and void too, not to mention you're screwed. They're coming for you next. And if you know what side of the street your bread is buttered, you'll jump on the merry-go-round with me and this crazy dude here and help us put an end to this shit once and for all. I want to practice my Italian, so this is called Omaggio a Louis Armstrong. It was the second part of the 20th century. Snow was falling, and a man in Rome was playing on a trumpet. This song we composed, it was a good day, you know, a very good day in the kingdom of jazz. A miracle had happened. This man had been released from Joliet prison. He had left Chicago. He had changed his name. He had just left the country. He had come to Rome. In prison, he prayed for that. It is a miracle to him as big as snow. Now he's standing in front of the Basilica Santa Maria Maggiore performing a song in the falling snow. And the song is the sound of his godfather in Sabine Parish, Louisiana, the morning they caught him hiding in the pines. And the song is one part desire and two parts the baying of Texas bloodhounds. The song is two parts dying, one part Louisiana shrimp trawler, and the traffic, and the pedestrians, and the snow in the air, and the jazz is the jazz is the jazz is the jazz, and a young woman on a bicycle is just riding past, a woman wearing a black overcoat and black gloves and a tight-fitting red scarf with a white blouse with pearl buttons, and a young woman who studied philosophy at the university. Furthermore, she knows a man who knew a man who met Gregorio Corso but didn't know it was him at the time, a woman who's just pedaling along in Rome, happily laughing at the snow. And she heard this song over the sound of the traffic. She got off of her bicycle. She's walked over to listen to the man with the trumpet standing in front of the snow, in front of the Basilica Santa Maria Maggiore. And in the middle of the crowd, over the rushing sound of traffic and people in the city and all that snow, she speaks something out loud. Sacco, she says. Oh, Maggi. She starts to dance. Right square in the middle of it. 2:45, Terminal D, Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, McDonald's. I got half an hour to kill. My plane's taking off for Oklahoma City in half an hour. I got a half an hour to kill. I should be thinking about this thing I'll be doing in Oklahoma. Instead, I sat myself down right square in the middle of things. I'm thinking about this kid in a t-shirt, whomping space rats on a video machine in the terminal with his dad, who's wearing that pink Ralph Lauren golf shirt, smiling his perfect blonde Texas teeth, his perfect blonde Texas hair. Well, the boy looks a lot like his dad, and the dad looks a lot like his boy, and just now that boy has whomped himself a space rat good. Yeehaw, shouts the boy. Yeehaw! He has whomped himself a space rat. That boy must have learned how to shout yeehaw like that from his dad. I purse my New York lips and I shake my New York mouth, yeehaw, yeehaw. It just doesn't come out right. Well, now it's Dad's turn at the video game. It's only a matter of seconds before he shouted, yeehaw, yeehaw. He has whomped himself a space rat. There are airports in every city. There are McDonald's in every town. But sure as shooting, there's only one place in this world where a boy and a man can yell, yeehaw! Exactly like that, and here I've gone and sat myself down right square in the middle of it. I just can't do the New York anymore. A true story, riding with Boom Boom. The facts are simple, they speak for themselves. But facts don't always tell the whole story. Boom Boom was a blues man. Boom Boom played the blues. He was 60 years old. Sexy, sexy. He lived alone in a split-level shack in Kings Park, Long Island, New York, with a ramp in the front on account of his bad back, and a maple tree in the yard which his kids used to swing on. He liked his chopper. He liked his Jack Daniels. He liked his bass guitar. He liked his kids and his friends, and a woman or two. He liked putting on his riding gear and going out into the Long Island Expressway at night to ride, baby, ride. Cops say they didn't target Boom Boom. Cops say they didn't track Boom Boom down. The cops say they were just protecting the public. When they came to Boom Boom's house to haul him in, they said somebody phoned and told them he was behaving irrational. Irrational. Irrational to be the person they don't want you to be. Irrational to refuse to swallow the 9 to 5. Irrational to fight the leather belt they strap you down with when the psych doctors come around to pick you apart. Irrational to cut loose, to escape, to be passionate, to ride out free when the blues and the booze and the passing just are not enough, and you have got to get away from the pain of living in this fucked up, rational world. The facts are simple. Facts speak for themselves. Facts are never enough. They just do their job, like cops do their job. Like liquor, motorcycles, and the blues do their job. Boom Boom was 60 years old. He played the bass guitar. Everybody said it was tons of fun on stage, but sometimes the bass guitar is not enough to make the blues go away. They took him in. There was a struggle, so they say. He hit his head on something, so they say. What he hit his head on, the cops are not saying, or how a 60-year-old with a bad back could even put up that kind of a fight against a bunch of cops. His name was Ports, Lowry Ports. And that's a good name. It speaks for itself. Names are just facts. All they do is their job. Names aren't enough to cure what ails you in a fucked up rational world. That's why his friends called him Boom Boom. That's how he rode. That's how he really was. Last week the cops said somebody named Larry Ports died. That ain't Boom Boom. Boom Boom ain't dead. The cops can't kill Boom Boom. All over America tonight, and hopefully the UK, all over the world, men will be riding motorcycles, women will be getting tattoos, kids will be drinking Jack, and bluesmen will be playing the blues, and I do not know where you'll be or what you'll be doing tonight, but as for me, I'll be riding with Boom Boom, getting irrational. Subway music. It's New York City subway. So many things happen in the subway. The subway music, the subway's full of high driving music tonight. Round-eyed men and women jazzified in the hot, wet tunnel. Eyes flashing, hips moving in and out of the crowd, moving in. On 14th Street, it's the Flyaway Boys from the foothills of North Carolina. They're playing some kind of gospel banjo. The next stop is West 4th Street. Of course, some cats have set up shop. They got brass instruments. They're wearing an uptown version of Don't Blame Me by the light of the 8 train passing. The steps go up, the steps go down. It's a whole shifting mess, shifting imperceptibly like a mule team on delicate hooves across the great continental divide, or the last true juicer teetering down Broadway. Like a Latin cat in street clothes. Who is that man? He just walks up, he's just calm, he's contemplative and empty of desire. He's whistling something between his teeth. A couple of schoolgirls are out too late and they're giggling and they're watching him. Here comes a pale green monster of a man, unconcerned and in uniform, just cutting by, just doing his job. But now he's standing still as a broom handle, stiff as a broccoli stick, and not ashamed, listening to it all, soaking it all in. The subway music, the subway music. Which way is up? Which way is out of here? You cannot turn a good man down, not when he plays like that. I mean, not when he's playing and you hear him with your ears like that. What can you say? What can you tell me? Name your price, New York City. Here he comes, Mr. Surefet. Man, he's doing a two-step hustle, a hip little street shuffle, a junkie nod. Some hot-tempered boys stomp around in a circle. Astronauts in the all-night dark and pretty women rubbing their eyes. They've just woke up. They've never been kissed. And young girls made too last to take the bed. What do you want from me? What are you listening for? Clustered together in the hot, wet tunnel for the first time in your lives. We are going through this thing together. Yes, we are. Our slice of paradise, our piece of the underground pizza, our zipped down, washed up, shook out apple pie. Yes, like Noah. Yes, like an isotope. Oh yeah, the sexless gringo from the suburbs, the hopped up kids from Paris, France, and yes, the scrubbed down, impossible to understand Westerners and Asian travelers and multilingual, all sorts, subcontinentals of musical. Salute to all of you. All in to everybody, a piece of this action. Let's go looking for the radioactive Easter egg together at last in the greatest and most joyous last chance playground of American underground musical innovation and slim possibilities, Raleigh, New York City, on a sad, lost subway Saturday night. This redhead and my seven queens. This redhead and my seven queens. What I mean to say, the road was straighter than these around here. I was driving unreasonably fast. It was a 57 Chrysler Imperial, boy. You remember those? They were cherry red. It was souped up. It had electric windows, electric top, chrome grille, big damn fins, but no brakes. No brakes on that thing, man. You got to scuffle your feet along. It would take you 3 miles to roll along if you actually wanted to stop that thing. Rocks flying everywhere. You might need a new pair of shoes. Anyway, I couldn't afford tires, as my situation, concisely speaking, was dire, if not to say extreme. But being that it was, I could, of course, have gone around the corner, that's to say, steal something secondhand. But at the time, I was with this redhead of my 7 acquaintance, well-positioned in town. She with a well-off boyfriend, me with plenty of time on my hands. No, it was not until that particular morning. In fact, she had been sitting in a booth at the diner a very long time by the appearance of things. Coffee cups, ashtrays full of nervous cigarettes. She was putting hairpins into and out of her hair. Well, I struck up a conversation. Got to be this, got to be that. Everything was going along pretty damn fine. And when I looked outside, as sure as we're sitting here today, it had stopped raining. Morning was nearly over. The cat was out of the bag, so zippity-doo, we was off. Both of us shot out of the barrel. That was that. We was traveling 10 times faster than was legal. I'm talking 35 plus 35 plus 35. And then some was, yeah, man, I don't mean that road outside of Fort Collins. I prefer at this late stage to say it was one of them back east, headed for her hometown in Kansas. She was a school teacher, good repute. Not a Concord of esteem, Breeze was everything. Eastern Colorado was a sight to see. She was smart, and with that orange sky, not like the red in her hair, coppery sort of red, like Lincoln on a new shiny penny. She gave me the prettiest smile, just then, the prettiest smile. Boy, you could just feel it. That car wanted to fly. We rolled down the windows, and we beat to the beat on the dash. Oh my, she said. Oh my, she said, my right toenail. Oh my, I do believe it has just had an emotion. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Boys and